Welcome to the official look back at Charlton's 2007-2008 season. Following relegation from the Premier League after 7 seasons, many big-name players were sold, so the squad had a very different look to it as the Addicts aimed to reclaim their place in the top flight. First at the Valley were the newly promoted champions of League One, a very buoyant Scunthorpe United.
It's Reid, pretty good. And it's rattled the crossbar. Sam and Reid again. Sam let it roll. And won it back. His feet were smart. Very, very smart! It's a handy save from Joe Murphy. Lloyd Sam, who has Mutawakil in field of him. Yassin Mutawakil. Delightfully shaped. Oh, and it's broken kindly for Ben to sweep home. But the flag is up. The flag is up. Charlton wants a steward's inquiry. I think this is all a question of which player the ball broke off. Mutawakil, really clever. Ben can't be considered offside there, nor is he here ultimately, because the referee has recognised that the ball came to him last of a Scunthorpe player. Hurst delivery, 1-1 Eric Pan!
3 days later, the Carling Cup campaign kicked off with a trip down the M4 to face Swindon. Charlton took control of a tie shortly after the break through Darren Ambrose. And a place in the second round was secure when Ben Tozer fouled Isaiah McLeod. Andy Reid put the penalty to good use. Next up, Stoke at the Britannia Stadium.
The referee just now telling the man in the wall to cut it out. Reid! It's 1-0 to Charlton Athletic. The Stoke wall is breached, and Andy Reid, the Charlton captain, puts them in front.
Well, it's very, very simple. Andy Reid, he hasn't actually tried to do anything other than hit the target. He knows that man there, Steve Simonson, he can't see a thing. That wall was massive. Just look at the angle. Look where Steve Simonson is there. And I think actually it takes a very, very lucky deflection.
Andy Reid, his second goal in 4 days. He scored in the Carling Cup. Here's Ricardo Fuller! Oh, an equaliser to savour, and then some. Charlton just can't hold on to a lead this season, but that was special. Parkin, the substitute. Oh, it's set up here for Parkin, and Stoke City are in front. Off the bench to far them into the lead. It is John Parkin, and it is 2-1.
Back on home soil 7 days later, an early shock. Sheffield Wednesday started in explosive fashion. Just 7 minutes on the clock when Burton O'Brien opened the scoring. And it quickly got worse for the Addicts. Tommy Spur's header had the Owls 2 up, and still only a quarter of an hour gone. A very unhappy Valley at the break, with the home fans demanding an improvement. And they got one. Andy Reid took his chance well to have Charlton back in contention. There was still plenty of time to complete the comeback. Now Wednesday were under constant pressure, and midway through the second half they buckled. Summer signing from Colchester, Chris Iwelumo marked his first start for the Addicts with the equaliser. And the big man wasn't finished. With only 3 minutes to go, Iwelumo grabbed the dramatic winner to secure the first league success of the campaign. Three days later, it was back to the Carling Cup as Stockport County made the long trip south. By half-time, it already seemed like they made a wasted journey. After Svetoslav Todorov's early strike, Charlton had the chance to stretch the lead, with Isaiah McLeod sent tumbling. First time around, no joy from the spot. Conrad Logan equal to McLeod's effort, but the referee ordered a retake. That time, Zheng Zi made the penalty count. It seemed like game over, but the Hatters had other ideas. 10 minutes after the restart, Adam Proudlock halved the deficit. And Stockport were soon back on terms. Anthony Alding took the score to 2-2. Now the tie could go either way. Amazingly, it was County who scored again. The turnaround completed with the Charlton defence in tatters. Dominic Blizzard took advantage for the Hatters' third goal in just 15 minutes. Charlton fought back strongly. Lloyd Sam to the rescue. His first senior goal, another twist in what had become a cup thriller. The finale didn't disappoint. With the match entering injury time, Paddy McCarthy secured a narrow win ahead of the weekend's big derby.
Zheng Ambrose is strong enough. Shrugged off Hodgson and really stretched Baroni. Header on by Scowcroft. There was a clash of heads there. Scowcroft still down. Morrison has turned it into the path of Eiffel. Eiffel, good save! He'd have been disappointed to have been beaten on his near post, Weaver, but he protected that part of his goal very well. Iwelumo. Todorov's there, and Todorov's there, and Todorov scored! Ooh, it didn't take him long. Charlton Athletic substitute Svetoslav Todorov capitalises on a poor bit of misjudgment by Julian Speroni, and Charlton Athletic have taken the lead with just over 15 minutes to play. Iwelumo with the header on. Goalkeeper really should have stayed at home. Certainly having come, he had to get there. And Todorov nipped between Court and Speroni and very calmly, almost casually, rolled the ball over the line. I wasn't sure it was going to get there for a moment.
To follow that extremely satisfying success at Selhurst Park, a trip to Layer Road. But it was a dreadful start at Colchester as Mark Yates gave the home side the lead. Things soon got even worse, with Charlton old boy Kevin Lisby giving the Essex club a 2-goal cushion. Just before the break, some hope. Svetoslav Todorov continued his scoring streak, on target for the third successive match. And Charlton's prospects of a full recovery soared early in the second half. Matt Connolly's challenge on Chris Iwelumo saw Colchester reduced to 10 men. With Connolly the last man, the ref had little option. The Addicts made their numerical advantage count as Zheng's strike earned a share of the spoils. Next, back-to-back home games, starting with the midweek visit of Norwich City. And it was a promising start. Chris Iwelumo couldn't have gone closer to opening the scoring. But the most meaningful action was saved for the last 5 minutes. Sub Isel McLeod was brought on by Alan Pardew to inject some pace, and it made all the difference. McLeod sent flying by Gary Doherty. From the spot, Andy Reid did the honours. Referee Jarnail Singh was a busy man. Within a couple of minutes, McLeod was hitting the turf again, and Charlton had another spot kick. The same taker, and the same outcome. That still wasn't the end of a drama. Deep into injury time, Dion Dublin clashed with Danny Mills. The Norwich veteran was off for a shower ever so slightly earlier than his teammates. The following Saturday, Leicester arrived in South London, but they were blown away inside the first half. Iwelumo with the opener after 18 minutes. The second goal was really special for Luke Varney, a Foxes fan as a boy. He finished off the club he'd idolised to make sure the points would be staying at the Valley. Round 3 of the Carling Cup meant a trip to League One Luton. Charlton, the favourites, of course, and off to a good start. Dean Sinclair netted his first goal for the club. But having dispatched the Hatters of Stockport in round 2, football's other Hatters turned out to be a sterner test. Steve Robinson's cracking volley had Luton level just before the break. That's the way it stayed until the end of 90 minutes, but in extra time things began to go wrong. Right at the end of the opening period, Matt Spring, who'd later become an Addicts player, put Luton in front for the first time. And they made sure of their place in round 4 when Majid Bagheera's slip let in Drew Talbot. A surprise defeat. A reaction was needed as the side rounded off September at the Ricoh Arena in front of a Coventry legend.
And Mills has found Sam, and Sam has scored! Hughes. Adebola. Mifsud barging in there. Michael Mifsud! Man of the moment!
Just 3 days after that draw, a midweek trip to the KC Stadium, and after Luke Varney struck for the second time in a Charlton shirt, it all turned nasty. Lloyd Sam and Ian Ashby's scuffle sparked a mass brawl. The consequences for the players, a red card for both. And for the clubs, an FA charge and warning about their future conduct. So it was 10 against 10, and there were no more goals until the 89th minute, when a swift counter-attack was topped off by Chris Iwelumo. Enough to make the point safe. That seemed like game over, but the referee played out a staggering 10 minutes of added time, during which Stephen McPhee pulled one back. Thankfully, this goal didn't really matter. Charlton's record a healthy 3 league wins out of 4, though the suspension for Sam would hurt the side in future. Barnsley were next at the Valley, and they put up stubborn resistance for 80 minutes, finally falling behind when Zheng Zi claimed his second league goal of the season. That lead was wiped out with the game approaching stoppage time, a point salvaged for the Tykes by substitute Kim Christensen. Even so, after 10 games, it looked like a very promising start, though Watford were the team to catch, setting a blistering pace. Behind Charlton, just 1 point separated the playoff pack. If the team had been frustrated by that draw with Barnsley, things got far worse following the October international break. A 2-0 setback at Wolves, inspired by former addict Jay Bothroyd, was the club's second league defeat. Despite the best efforts of Luke Varney, it was a rare blank day up front. And with 10 minutes remaining, Wolves secured their win. Carl Henry made the home side comfortable, sentencing Charlton to a first league defeat in almost 2 months. The following Tuesday came the visit of Plymouth, which proved catastrophic in more ways than one. Inspired by a large travelling support, Argyle's opener from Sylvana Banks-Blake's early goal was just what Charlton didn't need after the setback at Molineux. They bounced back well enough. Danny Mills got the better of Luke McCormick in the Plymouth goal. But the darkest moment in Charlton's season was to come. Christian Timar's ugly challenge on Svetoslav Todorov saw the Bulgarian rupture his anterior cruciate ligament. The injury would put him on the sidelines for a year, and Timar wasn't even booked by referee Rob Stiles. Within minutes, Plymouth were back in front as Barry Howells exploited some hesitant defending to grab the winner, sentencing Charlton to their first home defeat of the season. Still, with another home game to come against rock-bottom QPR, surely the team would bounce straight back.
And now here come Queen's Park Rangers. This is Vine. Oh, now is that going to be a penalty? And the referee says it is. It was Fortune who brought him down in the area. Take another look at this. Vine, in went the challenge and straight through him. 5 minutes of the second half gone. Rowlands to take. Off the post! Charlton breathe again. He hit it well enough, but it hit square on the post, and the danger is cleared. Vine trying to go past Mills and does so. Ephraim, good block. Barker's cross. Weaver above Nygaard, but now maybe a chance for Queen's Park Rangers to go ahead at last, and they do so. Queen's Park Rangers in front through Adam Bowler.
3 defeats in a row, so there was a desperate need to turn the tide away at Southampton. That prospect receded once Jose Semedo collected his second booking, leaving Charlton a man light after just 36 minutes. The 10 men stood their ground though, and with the game in stoppage time, Luke Varney broke free to provide the perfect cross for Chris Iwelumo, winning the match against all the odds. 3 days later, it was a similar story. 90 minutes of sterile football at Ashton Gate, culminating in another last gasp Iwelumo winner. Cardiff were the next visitors to the Valley and held out until first half stoppage time when Sam Sodji broke the deadlock. Surprisingly, there was still time before the break for a second goal, Iwelumo making quite an impact as he continued his scoring streak. And the points were secured late on. Zengzi's header for 3-0. Charlton definitely back on track. A hat-trick of consecutive wins. Could they make it 4 at Preston?
Thomas, probably been the pick of the players in this first half and nearly able to pick out one of his players. It's Zengzi, and it is 1-0 to Charlton, right at the death. Stoppage time in the first half, and the Chinese international breaks the deadlock. And Varney, this would add insult to injury if he scores. He does. Preston, who gave so much, have been undone in stoppage time again, of course. This is Charlton, and it is 2-0.
The following Tuesday saw the visit of Brian Robson's struggling Sheffield United, but the Blades produced arguably their performance of the season to take the spoils in South London. James Beattie's penalty made it 1-0. And the points were pretty much in the bag in the final quarter of an hour when a goalmouth melee allowed Gary Cahill to put his name on the score sheet. United added a touch of gloss to the scoreline with the match entering stoppage time. A stunning break from Robson's side and clinical finish from Chris Armstrong to inflict what would be Charlton's heaviest home defeat of the season. Not that things got much better next time out against Burnley. Another heavy loss in store for the home side. Andy Gray and then Chris McCann got on the end of free kicks, with Charlton's defence conspicuous by its absence. The home side were back in business shortly before the break. Andy Reid claiming his first goal in nearly 3 months. The midfielder was desperately close to doubling his tally for the game in the second half, only to be denied by former Palace keeper Gabor Kirai. Instead, it was Burnley who literally had the win handed to them. A crazy moment from Danny Mills did the damage. Andy Gray made it 3-1. Charlton needed to end this losing run, and fast. They did exactly that the following Tuesday at Cardiff. Shortly before the break, Matt Holland claimed his first goal of the season. The win was made safe with 10 minutes remaining. Darren Ambrose, the man fouled, and up stepped Andy Reid for a 2-goal cushion. Was tight as anything in the playoff places now, with West Brom edging ahead of Charlton into second place. The two clubs scheduled for a showdown in December. Before that, though, another massive match.
Fortune. Iwelumo and Lloyd Sam galloping onto this. He's got Holland up in support. Matt Holland's cross, and Ambrose! And the two former Ipswich men combine! Matt Holland, who anchored their midfield for so long, and it's Darren Ambrose who finishes it off. From one end of the pitch to the other. Iwelumo and Sam crucially involved in the early moments of the move. Surging run from Holland, just like he used to perform for Ipswich. And a doubly painful moment for the Tractor boys.
Opening the scoring for the Highlghts is number 11.
Such an inviting opportunity for Darren Ambrose to score his first league goal in 9 months. Come for Sam. Mills outside him this time. It's a nice drag back. Earned him some space and the right to shoot. Andy Reid, the set-piece specialist. Oh, and the goalkeeper misjudged it, and Chris Iwelumo takes advantage. Wave of acknowledgement from a crestfallen goalkeeper. And Chris Iwelumo, who lives in Ipswich, doubles Charlton's lead. Voted the best player in the Championship last month. About the simplest goal that he will score all season. Mills, and here's Reid, and Ambrose! It's 3! And Charlton are throwing the monkey off their back. They've lost 4 of their last 5 home fixtures. They've been winning right around the country on the road, but at last their home form is matching up to that on their travels. Resounding shot from Darren Ambrose. Lee. They're ahead of Haynes. And Cunyago goes down, and the referee's assistant flags, and the referee, Neil Swarbrick, says penalty. 2 minutes played in the second half, and the opportunity of an Ipswich lifeline. Alan Lee, second time he slips, the chance goes begging. It was a wretched penalty. Alan Lee. Cunyago, and surely now for Haynes, denied by the frame of the goal. Nothing going for Ipswich Town. Sam wants it and has it. Good adhesive defending to start with by Cito. Mills. Back by Iwelumo, who landed awkwardly. Holland! Touched onto the post by Alexander. Matt Holland denied against his old club. Here's Ambrose! Was that handball? Penalty given. And this could be a red card as well, because it was right on the line. Wilness is saying it hit my stomach. But if the officials have decided that it was an arm, and now the referee says corner, having consulted his assistant. So many talking points in this game. Haynes. Away from Zheng. Walters. Lee. Cunyago! How about that for a finish? The Spaniard can afford a flicker of a smile. It's the very least that Ipswich deserve for their second half display. And Pablo Cunyago, who's returned to the club, played for them first of all when they were in the Premier League. Well, he will be proud of that.
Here's Jerome Thomas, he's got beyond Hotchkiss again. Done really well. Into the... Iwelumo! He might be half fit, but he has given Charlton the lead. How about that if he's going to sign off? He has signed off in style.
Oh, can you believe it? Shouldn't even really be on the pitch. He won't care. Probably going to ask him if he can stay on now, to be fair. Just hobble around in the 18-yard box, Chris, because that's the danger that he offers to anybody at all. And Jerome Thomas does the damage. Beautiful skill by him, and look at that little dink to the far post. And how well does Chris Iwelumo? Does he out-muscles Paul Robinson at the back post here? Gets up well, and that's a fantastic header back across from where it came.
Bednar. Gira. Oh, lovely ball back for Bednar. Great chance, great goal. Roman Bednar levels it up. 1-1. Robinson. Ambrose sticking tight to him. First to react here is Robert Corrie. Back to Brunt. Robinson. Brunt. High hanging ball to the far post, it's Gira, it is 2-1. Just over 4 minutes it took them to get their noses in front. Zoltan Gira for West Bromwich Albion. Varney, more alive than Cesar. Great cutback, McLeod! He has his first goal for Charlton Athletic. Charlton have their equaliser. And Luke Steele has his head in his hands. Could he have done better? Well, that's for later. For now, is West Bromwich Albion 2, Charlton 2. Bednar, Phillips, Brunt in space. Dug out by that left foot, Gira! 2 for Gira, 3 for West Brom. Will that be enough for the 3 points? It's loose, it's Phillips! Well, he wasn't going to miss out, was he?
A feisty affair was in prospect just before Christmas. Another clash with Hull just 2.5 months after that stormy meeting which made all the headlines. This time the Tigers struck first through Fraser Campbell. Charlton managed to salvage a point thanks to Majid Bouguera's first of the season, before this fixture courted controversy all over again. With 20 minutes to go, Danny Mills tangled with Caleb Folan and referee Tony Bates brandished the red card. It was a strange sending off and would prove to be the defender's final appearance for the club. The official took some time to make up his mind, but didn't seem to take kindly to his authority being questioned. Two more 1-1 draws followed over the festive period, the first coming at Norwich, where Zeng got the side off to the perfect start, Charlton taking the lead after just 10 minutes. But once again, ill discipline cost the team dear. Sam Sodji saw red for this two-footed lunge on Darryl Russell. The Charlton defender could have few complaints, and his teammates now face quite a battle to hold on to their lead. They managed to keep the Canaries at bay until 75 minutes, when from a corner that man Russell collected a point. A great way to get his revenge for Sodji's unsavoury challenge. The Walker Stadium in Leicester was the next stop, and once again the match ended in deadlock. Stephen Clements's header on 78 minutes seemed to have clinched a valuable win for the Foxes in their fight to avoid relegation. But there, former captain Paddy McCarthy was having none of it. The ex-Leicester man who joined the Addicts during the summer struck in added time to salvage a precious point. The first opponents of 2008 were Colchester, rock bottom of the table, but they ripped up the form book to make it a miserable New Year's Day at the Valley. Charlton old boy Kevin Lisby won and converted the penalty which put the Essex club ahead. Lisby soon made it too, doubling the U's lead in sensational fashion, leaving the home fans to wonder why Lisby hadn't done this sort of thing more often during his time in South London. Luke Varney did his best to spark a revival, but it stayed 2-1 as Colchester celebrated only their 5th league win of the season. As always, the first weekend of January was a key date on the calendar. High-flying West Brom in town for the 3rd round of the FA Cup. And soon behind as Zengzi seized on some uncertainty at the back. But Charlton couldn't build on the promising start. Ishmael Miller's goal forced a replay to set up the side's 3rd meeting in the space of a month. Before that match, Blackpool came to the Valley and were torn apart in one of the best performances of the season. Majid Bouguera started the party after just 6 minutes. Almost immediately, it was 2-0. Luke Varney bamboozled the visiting defence, a great run, and finished the match. The Seasiders could at least claim the goal of the game. An outrageous volley from Ben Burgess continued the thrilling start. The score now 2-1 after just 13 minutes. The Addicts, though, quickly regained their composure and their 2-goal cushion, thanks to Zeng's 8th of the season. Not long after the break, he added his 9th. 4-1, the biggest victory of the campaign, and a display which, not surprisingly, had the manager relishing the rest of the season.
We've played the top 6 away now. We have Watford to come. So once we've done them, they've all got to come here. And so we've got a great opportunity. It is in our hands, so to speak. And that's a good position to be in.
Time to cross swords with the Baggies again, but in the FA Cup replay at the Hawthorns, Charlton soon seemed sure to be heading for the exit. Roman Bednar's first half goal was followed by a second for the home side from James Morrison. A bleak outlook at that stage with 51 minutes gone. But West Brom sat back on their 2-goal lead and were made to pay. With the rain lashing down in the West Midlands, a storm descended on the home side as Darren Ambrose put the result back into the balance. And right at the death, Chris Dixon claimed his first senior goal for Charlton. No wonder he was so delighted. Eventually it went to penalties, but Zeng failed to put his away. And to West Brom's great relief, Bednar finally put the result to bed. The Black Country club into round 4. Andy Gray had been snapped up from Burnley for an initial £1.5 million, and for the top-of-the-table clash at Watford took a place on the bench. In horrendous conditions, Nathan Ellington had the Hornets ahead on the hour mark. Charlton, though, managed to rescue a draw late on. Darren Ambrose on target again with 10 minutes to go. Next up at the Valley were promotion rivals Stoke, and after a tense 80 minutes, Charlton finally found a way through. Lloyd Sam's header earned 3 more very helpful points. But the following Saturday, a different story. Another disappointing defeat on the road at struggling Scunthorpe. After Martin Patterson's strike, the Iron were reduced to 10 men. Andy Butler received a second booking from referee Andrew Penn. But even with the home side a man light for the final quarter of an hour, Charlton couldn't force an equaliser. A frustrating afternoon with Scunthorpe delighted to celebrate a big scalp as they fought their battle at the bottom. .30 games gone, and an automatic promotion place was looking less likely now. The playoffs, though, still appeared realistic, and the club's top 6 ambitions would be scrutinised with the visit of local rivals Palace. As usual, an electric atmosphere in front of a packed Valley for this always emotional derby. Charlton dominant from start to finish, Julian Speroni denying Zeng. Charlton were kept at bay until the hour mark, but that's when Matt Holland's free kick found Luke Varney to send the home fans into a frenzy. And with 4 minutes left, the night got even better as Varney broke clear to fire home a second and enter his name into the club's folklore. The midweek trip to Hillsborough brought everyone back to earth. Just the occasional threat as Wednesday were well on top, and it took the good form of childhood Owls fan Nicky Weaver to earn a goalless draw. Next, a promotion tussle back at the Valley. Another big crowd for Watford's visit, and a great start to the game. For the third match running against the Hornets, Darren Ambrose struck. And then there was a gift from a former Charlton defender. Danny Shittu's comical mistake had the hosts in control at the break. Watford refused to accept their fate, storming back in the second half. John Joe O'Toole on target first. And then Shittu made amends as the match finished all square. The game at Blackpool's Bloomfield Road saw even more goals, just the entertainment required in classic February conditions by the Irish Sea. Blackpool raced into a 2-goal lead. Stephen McPhee grabbed the opener after a quarter of an hour. And after Paul Dickoff was denied, Kasper Skorks made it 2-0 to leave the home side comfortably in the driving seat. But Charlton mounted a terrific fight back to be level by the break. Grant Basie's cross picked out Darren Ambrose to kickstart the recovery. Just a minute later, the former Newcastle midfielder made it 2-2. The dressing room suddenly seemed a lot more welcoming at half-time. But that was as good as it got. Gary Taylor-Fletcher restored the Seasiders' advantage on the hour, and this time there was to be no remarkable comeback. Soon after, the Addicts' defence fell to pieces again, giving Dickoff the chance to make it 4. Charlton was staring defeat in the face and knew there was definitely no way back once a 5th was conceded in farcical circumstances. Taylor-Fletcher's cross caught the wind and sailed straight in. Game over. Jonathan Fortune's goal was little consolation as Blackpool emerged victorious in an 8-goal blockbuster. The following week, the side bounced back in impressive fashion at Bramall Lane, taking the lead in first-half injury time through Chris Iwelumo. The win was guaranteed late on by Sam Sodji, a good way to mark his first start since Boxing Day, before Sheffield United were reduced to 10 men. Stephen Quinn could have few complaints about the red card after this challenge on Jose Semedo. That first win in 4 games was followed by another draw. Bristol City, enjoying an excellent first campaign back in the second tier, were tested when Darren Ambrose fired Charlton into an early lead. It proved to be a full storm for the home side. City well worth the point, which was clinched by Jamie McComb's second-half equaliser. More disappointment on home soil the following weekend, and against Preston, arguably the most insipid performance of the season. Following Chris Brown's early strike, the hosts struggled to make much headway. After a frustrating afternoon, the Addicts did finally claw their way back into contention as Paddy McCarthy levelled the scores. Now, most people thought there could only be one winner. But cue Chris Brown, whose superb turn and outstanding finish capped a dreadful week. Just 1 point mustered from 2 crucial home matches. Things got worse away at Burnley, as Wade Elliott's excellent strike provided the only goal of the game. Another defeat, and another awkward fixture to come away at Ipswich. At Portman Road, Greg Holford came within inches of breaking the deadlock. But after that, it was all downhill for Charlton. When Owen Garvin's initial corner was cleared, his cross-come shot drifted over the hapless Nicky Weaver to give the Tractor Boys the lead. To rub salt in the wound, their victory was secured by a former addict. Danny Haynes put the result beyond doubt in fine style. For the first time since August, Charlton had slipped out of the top six, with games against West Brom and Wolves looming.
Ambrose. McCarthy heads down and into the corner. Well, Greg Halford, by the look of things, got the final touch on it. It is a Charlton lead, and it is a first goal for the club for Greg Halford.
Wow. Tony Mowbray's going to be pulling his hair out, isn't it? It's another set-piece goal conceded by West Bromwich Albion. Nobody near Halford. He knocks it down. I'm not certain he's going for goal here. Just maybe knocking it back down into the danger area, but zips off the turf, just inside the post. And it's a cheap goal.
Greening, plenty of bodies forward. Albrechtson at the near post. Weaver thought about coming for the far. Here's Kevin Phillips. And that is Kevin Phillips. A wonderful finish by the Championship's top man. And West Bromwich Albion are level.
That draw left Charlton all the way down in 10th. If they were to mount a challenge for the playoffs, they'd need quite a run in the last half-dozen games. First up, 3 points against Wolves seemed essential.
Henry playing it forward. Good ball that for Keogh. Ebanks Blake waving in the middle. They linked up well. Look at Jarvis in space. Ebanks Blake, he's put it away. The birthday boy with a goal. 22 today. And he makes it 6 goals in his last 7 matches to give Wolves the lead here, crucially. Holland went in for the header, couldn't quite get enough on it. It's come out here to Jerome Thomas. Nicely done. Halford, he's equalised. That's exactly what Charlton wanted. 2 goals in 2 games for the right back. Very, very well taken indeed by Greg Halford, and Charlton are level.
Well, it came from the moment of inspiration, didn't it, to start with? That was the corner. Ambrose got the free kick. He does well here, just gets past Gray, one touch, and look at the comfortable finish there. What a confident finish this is. Just relaxes when it comes to him. Just lets it hit him. The pace from the cross is enough for him to get enough purchase on it to put it in the bottom corner. And he's delighted.
Much of a look in the second half for Ebanks Blake so far, but he might be able to create something here. Oh my goodness me! You have just seen one of the goals of the season in the Championship from Sylvain Ebanks Blake. How did he do that? Surely we'll get this in here.
I can't believe they're not doing it here. I just cannot believe it now they're in the crowd.
Sojo's doing it. It's gone a long way, and yes, Leroy Lita with a splendid header to save it for Charlton. He'll get a booking for taking off his shirt, but you know what? He is not going to care. It's his first goal for Charlton. Look what it means to him. Charlton Athletics save it like this.
Well, you wondered why it wasn't going in the first place. He lays it back and then he thinks, right, Sochi just puts it in there. And you think, well, Iwalumu could do this, but Leroy Lita, what a fantastic header this is. He attacks it superbly.
Olofinyana. Kyle's got some chasing to do. Henry's arriving in the middle. Can he do it this time? Yes, he can. He's won it for Wolves, surely. This time, the skipper, Carl Henry, in what is an incredible finish here at the Valley.
Well, speechless, really.
The playoff push was fading fast, and the game at Plymouth felt like a must-win. The start down in Devon couldn't have been any worse. With just 3 minutes gone, Nicky Weaver was dismissed for handball. Rob Elliott came on for his Addicts debut. The 10 men clung on bravely until the hour mark, but then Jermaine Easter finally gave Argyle the edge. man down, it seemed to be all over for Charlton. Amazingly though, within 5 minutes they'd rescued the match, as on loan Leroy Lita struck for the second time in as many games. What an impact he was having. Before the finish, Lita made himself the hero again, the striker securing the first league win in 7 against all the odds. Despite that superb result in Plymouth, the playoff dream didn't last much longer. Darren Randolph, in for the suspended Weaver, suffered a nightmare to hand Southampton the lead at the Valley. Andy Gray did equalise midway through the second half, but with the club's promotion prospects hanging by a thread, a draw wasn't good enough. 7 days later at QPR, the playoff challenge was officially over. Dexter Blackstock struck the only goal after 15 minutes to complete a league double for Rangers. The penultimate game of the season was notable for the debut of John Joe Shelvey, who at 16 years and 59 days became Charlton's youngest ever player. Barnsley had a huge incentive. The relegation strugglers in desperate need of a win, and they stormed to success. Ex-Charlton wide man Jamal Campbell-Rice set the Tykes on their way, and the Yorkshire club's advantage was doubled by Lewin Nyatanga to all but secure their place in the Championship for another year. Still time for John Macken to make absolutely sure of the success. The end of the season now couldn't come soon enough for a beleaguered, out-of-sorts Charlton side. Still, the final day was something to remember. Against a Coventry team fighting for survival, Luke Varney gave Charlton the ideal start. A wonderful flowing move set up goal number 2, finished by the ever-improving Andy Gray. Efforts like this did at least hint at a brighter future for Gray and the club. Coventry made a good match of it, back in contention just a minute later. Michael Mifsud struck in the club's meeting at the Rico Arena earlier in the season and repeated the trick. But Charlton refused to be denied. Kasper Schmeichel's weak punch allowed Grant Basie to restore the 2-goal advantage. The icing on the cake was added towards the end and couldn't have been more fitting, as substitute Chris Powell struck in his Charlton swan song, much to the delight of fans and players alike. A great way to say farewell. So the season didn't live up to expectations. A very underwhelming 11th place finish and worryingly a long way adrift of the top 6. Still, that thrashing of Coventry was a really positive way to finish what was ultimately a disappointing season, and at least it brought a smile to the face of a Charlton legend on an emotional afternoon. Goodbye.